In an earlier video, you learned how to use the file input control. I mentioned that there was a property named web directory relative path or some such, and that I would explain it in a later video. So here's a short video in which I explain those properties that start with WebKit and relate to this control. There's one property called WebKit directory. That's an attribute that accepts a Boolean value of true or false. If you set it to true, it would allow you to select a folder but not files in the open file dialog. When you select a folder, that would automatically select all the files in that folder and all the files in the subfolders within that folder. It would not select subfolders within that folder. The ultimate file list will have just files. It'll scan the whole hierarchy n levels deep and collect all the files into a flat file list. So if I were to set this to true, I would now not be able to select files in the file open dialog. I would only be able to select a single folder. And since I want multiple files within that folder to be selected, I will add the multiple attribute, which is a standalone attribute. The one thing I would warn you against is not to use this extension. This is an extension because it has not been implemented by all browsers. Only some of them have implemented it, and everybody implements it very differently. I'll run this example. This time, when I click Browse, let's say I want to select this folder, Collage, for my website. This folder has several subfolders. It has two subfolders, each of which may or may not have files. This one doesn't seem to have any files. And this has two subfolders, and each of them they definitely have files. And there's a filter that I'm not able to see the files because of. But let's just select this folder, Collage, for my website. And this time I'm not selecting a file. As you can see, there are no files visible. Or that's the reason files are not visible, because you only see folders in this view. And if I click Upload, there were 48 files in the whole hierarchy. It scanned all the folders and subfolders. To see the file list, I'll open the developer tools. I will first get a reference to this control using its ID. And let's look at the files property of this. It has 48 files. Each file's WebKit relative path property has the path to the file relative to the root folder I selected, which was Collage for my website. If you scan through all these files, for instance, chemistry.txt is within the pics subfolder, which is within the root Collage for my website folder. You will notice that it doesn't select the pics folder as a separate item. There is no item called pics, so the folders don't get selected, only files get selected. So that's how this works. Do you want to become a software developer for a living? Are you a manager working in the software industry who is scared because he doesn't know programming very well? Do you want to get back to learning programming so you're more confident at your job? I will be starting an online course for you to teach you how to program, so you can either have a career if you don't have one in the software development industry, or a better career if you already have one. Go to my website satyaish.net and please sign up for the mailing list so I can send you an email when I announce the course details.
Mahadeva Shambo, Mahadeva Shambo, Mahadeva Shambo.
Love vanquishes all attackers. It is impregnable in defense. When heaven wants to protect someone, does it send an army? No, it protects him with love.
Shiva, Shiva, Shambo, Shiva, 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 Shambo.